Yo, what is good guys, back here another YouTube video, and in case you cannot tell by the title below, this video will be a video where I share my honest thoughts and opinions on someone or something going on in this wacky weird world called professional wrestling. As you can tell by the title below, this video will be a video where I share why I personally don't like AEW wrestler, former TNT champion Wardlow. Before I share my thoughts and opinions, let me know what yours are down in the comments below. While you are down there, feel free to hit the like, subscribe, turn on post notification. Of course, you don't have to if you don't want to, but it would mean a lot to myself if you did and whatnot. And Wardlow, just want to say, I don't know him, never met him in person or on social media kind of deal. Never had any form of interaction with him. So it's not like a, hey, I met him once and had a negative experience. From what I've seen, good enough guy to meet and whatnot. And when it comes to social media, I don't think I might have followed him on Instagram, but that's about it kind of deal and whatnot. My Instagram link in the description down below if you would want to follow and whatnot. But either way, you don't obviously have to if you don't want to. But when it comes to Wardlow on the mic, for myself personally, he's whatever. There's a lot of people better than him, but there's also a lot of people worse than him, in my opinion at least. And when it comes to him on, like, bell to bell, he's good. I don't mean that this might come across as bad. Don't mean it to, but he's more athletic than I would have expected for a guy like him, kind of deal. I don't mean it in a bad way, but he's what I would call your stereotypical wrestler. I don't know for sure how tall he is. I don't know for sure how much he weighs, but let's say he's 6'3", 300 pounds of muscle, kind of deal. And being able to hit top rope moves when you look like Wardlow, to me, is impressive. That's more of a, I again, don't mean this in a bad way, but more of somebody like a Seth Rollins build than a Wardlow build. But for myself personally, like I said, he's decent enough on the mic, he's good enough in the ring. Why don't I like him? I personally just don't find him entertaining, kind of deal. He hasn't had that thing, he hasn't really had that moment of like, hey, I like him, kind of deal. And a little bit of a backstory, I started watching AEW week in, week out back in June of 2022. And first full episode of Dynamite I watched was after the pay-per-view, after MJF Wardlow had their match. I think it was Double or Nothing. I think that's what the May pay-per-view was called. And whatnot, off the top of my head it is. Whatnot, but either way, it was the pay-per-view where MJF allegedly jumped on a flight back home and then flew back to wherever it was, kind of deal, whether it was Vegas or Chicago or wherever that May 2022 pay-per-view was, kind of deal. There was a risk that MJF wasn't going to be there for whatever reason. He ended up showing up, and he lost in like a 10-minute match, if that, squash match against Wardlow. And that was it wasn't my first impression of Wardlow. I've seen other Wardlow matches before, but that was the first one on a big stage like that. And it's like, oh, people are excited about him, kind of deal. And more people coming out of that pay-per-view were talking about MJF. And I don't want to say small thing that he's did, but one small thing over Wardlow's arguably first big win, kind of deal and whatnot, first big singles win, and that kind of left a taste in my mouth that I haven't really got rid of, kind of deal. It's partly on me, I will fully admit that. I could have went back and watched other Wardlow matches, kind of deal, promos, all of that stuff to try and get that connection. But from that point onwards, again, late May, early June 2022 up until now, both AEW, and I don't want to say Wardlow, but AEW hasn't really given me a real reason to care about Wardlow, so why should I? I know, like I said, he's a former TNT champion, but I don't remember who he beat, and I know that he lost it to Samoa Joe, who a reasonably short time later, like a month and a half, lost it to Darby Allin, kind of deal and whatnot. But either way, for myself personally, he again is good enough in the ring. He's decent enough on the mic, better than what I would be on the mic, to be honest and whatnot. But he's just missing that something, and hopefully I can see that something in him, kind of deal that a lot of people see, or enough people see and whatnot. But either way, those are my thoughts and opinions. Would love to know what yours are down in the comments below. While you are down there, feel free to hit the like, subscribe, turn on post notification. Of course, you don't have to if you don't want to, but it would mean a lot to myself if you did. More importantly, hope you guys are doing okay mentally, emotionally, and physically.
The world that we tend to make up is nothing but a fantasy until you wake up. I feel like I'm just lying to myself, yeah. Cause I just crossed the line like I'm playing offside. I do it how I want and I'ma do it till I die. I feel like I'm just lying to myself, but it's